almost every single dancer was going to have a conflict over the next 5 weeks of rehearsals. So we didn't have a full cast for 5 weeks, which is ridiculous. I got to this place where I was like, how can we even grow as a group if we're not in the same space at the same time? And we don't rehearse very often, so for someone to miss a whole 3-hour rehearsal is a lot. My rehearsal assistant, Lacey, led a couple of those rehearsals, and so there was time for the dancers to really just work together as like a unit without me, and those days were really successful for them. They, in spaces that they could, they moved the mirrors away. If they were unrolling contraptions, they moved them away so that they could really just embody the movement and move together. And I think sometimes it's like when a parent is in the room and they're trying to navigate play between kids and they're trying to sort of micromanage, and then the parent leaves the room and they come back with the snack and the kids are getting on totally fine. And it's like, oh, you didn't even need me. It's that kind of energy a little bit. I just sort of make it up as I go along. I bought my mom this like little plaque once that said, jump and then build your wings on your way down. And I feel like I tend to live my life that way, that I don't actually know what I'm doing at any time. I just sort of go with the flow and figure stuff out as it happens. And I've never had an event with food and drink and like this magnitude, like renting a venue and then building it out. And this has been very challenging and very overwhelming, but it's like incredible when you actually see your vision coming together. Like, it's really, I mean, it must be like what parenting is like when you suddenly see your kid walk across, graduation of high school and you're like, I did this. It was cool for me even to step away from the process for a week or two and let them work, and then to come back and see the benefits of that. And I've never really done that before, and that seems to be really fruitful. And there will be more opportunity for this, and I'm excited that these sort of days where I'm away are sprinkled in, throughout our timeline so that they have work to do while I'm not there. And it gives them the time and the space to really get deeper into the work and to ask questions that they might not want to ask me or have time to ask me or things like that. So the work itself is really coming together. I mean, we're really starting to jam as an ensemble, and these sort of greatest hits that we've been rebuilding are actually starting to come to life. Like, I feel like the dancers are starting to dance together as an organism, but to also, as I'm getting to know them even better, they're bringing their own unique sensibility to it. So I think our goal is just to really embody the space. I was saying to Sam that it feels so fitting that this is like, we're sort of in our 4th of 5 locations, and next week at Oyster Bay, that'll be our like exclusively site-specific experience. So I feel like we've kind of done the groundwork, like laid the trajectory from stuff that we're comfortable with, which is like repertory performances, and then building our comfort and our skills as site-specific movers. I don't know, when you bring out your Christmas decorations every year and you're like, the tree was always here, and this always goes here. And then one year maybe you're like, you know what if we flip the tree and that thing? And you're like, mind blow, this is amazing. So it's like when you restage a dance, you know how the other person did it. And they embodied it in a certain way that made it their thing. And so when you reteach a dance, in your mind you almost anticipate that it's going to be the same as what that person did. And the dancer even thinks that, like they'll watch the video and they'll say, oh, she did it like this. And I'll say, well, I want you to do it like you, right? Because you're a different person. So there's this interesting matchmaking that happens between the dance and the person. And then, you have to sort of negotiate and navigate how it comes together into like a new life, or almost a new version of the dance, or a new dance in general. And I feel like at this point we're completely like nested, like embedded with the movement, and we know the characters, we know the structure, we know
we know, I mean, this space we've worked in before, so now that there's a sort of other beautiful things to look at, and then with the layer of the audience, you know, feel free to have fun and to like really dig into it and explore, you know, stuff that feels a little bit brave and bold and daring. Like, you know, if you want to hide, like someone's sitting in a chair there and you want to like hide behind a chair and like do something, you know, as you're in your transition moments, feel free to explore it.
The dancers are really more aware of what I want and what I need, and how rigorous this process is, and how much more intense it's going to be this summer as we start performing and things like that. Right now I'm in the place choreographically where I'm like stepping back and being like, what is this now with these new people, and how is it the same and how is it different, and what are the things that I really need them to hold on to because it's like the identity of the dance, and what are the things that they're bringing new life to that I'm like, oh, I hadn't anticipated that. Let's keep the tree over there now every Christmas.